And the reason why I have given so much attention to the actor is because an actor is the sacrificial lamb that is put on the stage of performance by those that are behind the scenes. And they are sacrificed either for the good or for the bad. When I see a good actor performing dismally and looking like a stooge in front of a camera or in front of a stage, I think to it like, what has the director been doing behind the scenes? Of course, a lot of people, they are quick to attack the actor, but I'm also quick to look at the director. And sometimes I've watched good scripts being crucified by bad acting. I'll talk about directing as we go. I'll address the directors, but for now I'm just addressing the actors. We don't want to see you showing us that you're a good actor. No. We want to forget that you are acting, and that's what makes you a good actor. I'm coming to critique some of the performances that I've been watching, and I know it's going to be a thriller in Manila when the gorilla meets the killer, because most directors are not going to like it. But who am I when I'm supposed to be the priest that is supposed to intercede on the altars of performances? So having taken the job of intercession on the altars of performances, I have taken this cross to ensure that the performances that we watch on our televisions, especially in the Zimbabwean context, are perfected to dimensions of admiration. So don't be an actor that kills a good story. And your job as an actor is to also bring dead words to life. So today we're going to be looking at how do you reach the scenic truth, the believable reality that when a spectator or an audience is watching your performance, whether on stage or on camera, feels emotionally attached to your performance and feels connected to the reality that you're portraying. To help you understand this, as an actor, you need to push your dimension of imagination to another level that is beyond an ordinary mind. An actor without a vivid imagination is as good as a dead motion. So in order to achieve this, an actor has to answer the W's that one of the greatest philosophers of performance, Stanislavski, talks about. To some, they can start with the 3 W's, but as you go into a more advanced philosophical understanding, you get to the 5 W's. And let me peruse through them so that you get a better understanding of what we mean when we talk about the W's. Who am I? Who am I talks about the character that you're going to assume. Are you a policeman? Are you a nurse? Are you the president? Are you a pastor? Are you a teacher? Who are you? And by understanding who you are, you need to begin to imagine the character traits of the person or of the character that you are becoming. And by imagining the characteristics of the person, of the character that you are going to assume, you get your imagination to transcend into deeper areas of meditation where you begin to align and connect dots from characters that you have observed. Now that brings us to another dimension where we have to say an actor is an observer. So as an actor, you are a philosopher also. You are a researcher. You are an observer of how a community communes amongst its inhabitants. So, who am I? Answering that question, you start to know I have seen a Dr. A from this region. I've seen a Dr. B from this place. And this is how they would behave when they're in contact with the patient. And this is how they would react when a serious case arrives at the hospital. What do I do as a doctor? And the next W is, why am I here? And by answering why am I here, you're not getting to understand the objectivity of every scene that you're going to be involved, and the super objective of every scene that you're going to be participating in. Why am I here? Then the next is, what am I doing, or what am I supposed to be doing? And the next W is, where am I? Am I in Cholocho? Am I in Chitungwiza? Or am I in Zimbabwe? Am I in South Africa? If I am a doctor in South Africa and I'm addressing or I'm treating a foreigner, we now know the level of psychological conditioning of doctors in South Africa when they approach their fellow black men. They have a negative antenna that gives them an understanding of ignorance. So if you are such a doctor operating in South Africa and you are South African and you meet a black patient from another country, maybe Zimbabwe, how are you going to behave, having understood the context and the complexity of what is happening in that particular place or in that particular community? And there is a setting of such a scenario, and you are that doctor. Where is your imagination taking you to in order for you to bring the scenic truth, and in order to answer the questions, and in order to bring to light the objective and the super objective of what you're supposed to act out, or what you're supposed to bring to reality, so that the audience may understand and connect with you emotionally. Because as an actor, there's what we call empathy. The audience has to connect with you at the dimension and level of empathy. They have to connect with you emotionally. If you can't bring words to emotion as an actor, then your job as an actor is as good as dead. And what I always say, you would rather be behind the scenes, because you're failing to do the job of an actor. So by answering the W's that I have mentioned, where is this taking place? Who am I? What am I doing? Why am I here? In answering those W's, you are unlocking the doors of imagination, and you are transcending into spaces where action emanates from emotions. This is where you now bring in also the techniques of Stanislavski, where he talks about what if, the magic if. And not only that, he talks about emotional memory. And as an actor, these tips and these fundamentals will help you to bring the scenic truth. Then after having answered the W's, let's move to the objective and super objective of each and every scene that you are going to find yourself acting out. If you are in that scene, what is your objective and your super objective? By mentioning the two, what we're just simply saying is that, what is your goal in this scene? Are you in this scene to kill? Are you in this scene to heal? Are you in this scene to hurt? Are you in this scene to show love? What are the obstacles that are going to prevent you from achieving your goal? What are the stumbling blocks that are going to stop you from the super objective or from the super goal or from achieving the intended objective? Now, when you pick those, begin to emotionally condition your character to reveal the emotions that are embedded inside in relation to the stumbling blocks that are either internal or external factors. So when you talk about internal and external factors, that's another dimension that I passed through in episode 2. But having said that, so this is how you bring yourself to the scenic truth, by overcoming stumbling blocks through answering questions that are brought by the W's and enhancing your imagination to achieve your intended goal. By doing so, you begin to act naturally and not artificially. So there are scholars that says also, don't behave, but be the act. Act natural, don't behave, but act natural. Don't behave, but be natural. So, scenic truth is a realistic performance that when you get into that dimension of scenic truth, the performance ceases to be an act, but it becomes a reality. And this is the reason why in episode number 2, I gave you examples as I was starting that when you watch Korean movies, you feel so much emotionally attached to the point of being broken, a point where we talk about catharsis, where you are emotionally disturbed and you lose your senses and you begin to drop tears. And we also talked about how when you look at the Western films and American films, you also try to become that hero that is always portrayed by these Western films. And it's all achieved when they reach what we call the scenic truth. When you do it correctly and rightly, with clear imagination, and by answering the W's, you become a truthful actor, a realistic performer who is reliving the moments whom people connect with. And for a moment, they forget that they are watching a performance. Once you're able to reach that dimension when people are watching you doing acting or are watching you acting out a character and you're bringing in a reality that makes them forget that they are watching something, I tell you, you have reached the zenith of masterclass acting. So as an actor, you need to be a philosopher. You need to be a researcher. Go through the script more than 100 times so that it lives in your fingertips. Do you know, when you go through your character, it becomes a living character. That's the reason why in Hollywood, some people, when they get into character, it's difficult for them to get out if they overdo it. But being conscious of what you're doing, you can get in the character and also be able to get outside the character. So as an actor, you are going to research more and come up with these things, understanding of the setting, understanding of your character, understanding of your speech intonation, and even the understanding of your movement, body language, your gestures. And you're not only going to do that ignorantly, but you're going to do that knowingly. And by having a background of understanding your character and your worldview, what you're simply doing is you are getting yourself prepared to be that character that you're going to assume or that you're going to take on. And when you have prepared yourself enough, now when the time comes for you to bring out the performance, it's like all along you have been living in this character. The reason why I have dedicated my time to give you these nuggets, there is so much talent and so much passion, but no direction. and no one is bothered to take an initiative to help those that are in need of this help. So this has been your Director Tracks, and this has been Visual Philosophy, where we philosophize you with information, if there's a word for that. So until we meet again next time,